Okay, good morning to all. As we know from the last two lectures, we were discussing about an essay, especially an essay which deals with the language of English, their uses, the taboos related to English language, which we carried from last few decades. Then, as we know, this essay is all about, or it is about what Mulkraj Anand, and he is obviously important writer, right? I think you should not need to open your videos, right? It get more data from your side. So just listen, okay? Just listen. Yes. So in the last lecture, we already discussed about the minute things related to this essay. For example, how or in which situation Mulkraj Anand used to write or used to wrote such type of essays. Why he thought it is the need of time that we should write something or we should write something about the importance of English, right? So please mute yourself, everyone. Don't unmute yourself, okay? Again and again, it creates disturbance. So please cooperate. Yes. Before we start today's content, yes, obviously we have to remind what we already learned in the last lecture, right? Then it is good for your side to connect the last lecture with this one. I think the screen is visual, right? It is visible for all the participants. I think yes. In the very first lecture, we discussed about the introduction of Mulkraj Anand, the introduction of this essay, what actually about the author is important, why we call these are the trio of Indian English literature, about his awards, his important works, for example, Coolie, then we have Two Leaves and a Bird, The Sword of Sickle. These are the important words, right? And in 1971, Mulkraj Anand got the Sahitya Akademi Award, which is the second highest literary award in India, right? Which won the first? Obviously, Jnanapith. Jnanapith is the first and most important literary award in India, right? Then we were discussed, or we had discussed about the text, what actually included in the text, right? And I think then only we start the general concept of English, or how, according to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he called English is the window of modern world, then the general importance of English, how it is a global language, business language, how it deals with industry and media, how it creates or it gives to access of what we call multiple cultures, right? These are the important factor which we already discussed about this topic, right? Sonali Pawar, please mute yourself. Then after this, we will directly start our original text with the first paragraph, and we already discussed how the chauvinism, like the term of chauvinism take place in India, how the Indian people carried a particular type of suicidal tendencies, right? And how it created what we call the imperial subjugation. That is also important word, right? Then we already discussed about the suicidal tendencies of Indian people. Why? because we always try to carry the legacy. It is really good to carry the legacy, but about what? Because of the past generation create or make a taboo about English language, then we just carry that legacy. That is not the good sign, right? For the sake of getting or gaining the knowledge, right? Then we discussed about the debate between Orientalist and the other people. Means this is the all-time great debate. Some people speaks about their regional languages, the importance of regional languages. Some people speak about why Orientalism is important, why Orientalist writing is important, right? Then we discussed about that pragmatic ground, right? Pragmatic ground. As I already told you, it dealing with the thing in a way that is based on practical only rather than theoretical consideration. Means always we have to think about, or always we have to think in the sign of, or think about the present era, or sometime we have to think about the future. But what about the taboos? We have to neglect that taboos about the various languages. Then we discussed about the intelligentsia in India, the most educated class in India, what they think or what they thought about the language, right? Sonali, mute yourself, mute yourself, please. Again and again, I unmuted yourself and you turn it into unmute side, please. Yes. Then we discussed about the Renaissance. This new word I already discussed, right? Renaissance. Renaissance means what? As I already told you, Renaissance means it is about the new emergence, right? The new emergence, what we call Renaissance. Then we have the discussion about the European continent, their languages, their thought process, why we have to understand or why we have to need to learn the European languages, because as I already told you, it is all about the new knowledge, right? Therefore, we have to accept the European languages for the sake of understanding, not for the sake of instead of our mother tongue, right? Already, as I already told you, our mother tongue is all about our culture. It is close to our heart. So we cannot neglect our languages, our soil languages, our Indian cultural languages. But for the sake of knowledge, we have to deal with another languages too, right? Yes. Then today we have to start from the next paragraph, right? So listen carefully. I think let's start with that paragraph only, okay? The likes of Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, M.N. Roy, Manavendra Nath Roy, right? M.N. Roy and Ambedkar were aware of the advanced political thought. Yes, in the last lecture, we already discussed what is that advanced political thought, right? Because most of the politician, most of the reformer have political thought. But what about the advanced political thought? Advanced political thought means always curious about what will happen in the world for the sake of uh, empowerment, for the sake of progress. That is called the political thought or advanced political thought. And especially this thought belongs to European Renaissance. Because you know what, there is always debate, or there is always some people who till today called that fashion comes from West, knowledge come from West. Why only about West? Because it is all about the European continents. Most of the time in India, when we found something new, some people always called it come from West, right? It come from West. In Marathi, we always used to say, Paschimotya Sanskriti, right? Paschimotya Sanskriti. That is called something or whatever new is there, it come from West. It come from America, it come from Germany, China, sorry, Japan, right? So therefore, we always call it come from West. So these Western tendencies or these European tendencies, sometime or for the sake of some important issues, we have to neglect. But for the sake of knowledge, it is our responsibility to grab all the languages and at least take little bit mastery on that language to get the particular original knowledge, we can say, right? The original source of knowledge. Then they know through Thomas Paine's Right of Man, right? I think you should know something about Thomas Paine and his book, The Right of Man. At least the student who belongs to political science, they should know something about these people. Manavendra Roy, obviously Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, and Dr. Ambedkar. They are very much familiar with us. Their work is very much familiar with us. But these people, Manavendra Roy, then Thomas Paine and his important treatise, not a book, huh? Treatise. There is difference between a book and treatise. Treatise means what? In Marathi, it is means thesis, prabandha, right? Prabandha jala apan म्हणतो. That is called treatise, right? Thomas Paine, Rights of Man, which had entered the Bill of Rights. Just listen carefully. This is the importance of this treatise, which had entered the Bill of Rights of the US after America's overthrow of British monarchical hold. America's overthrow of British monarchical hold. That is also important. Because of this treatise, Rights of Man, America, what we call, fulfill their dream of independence, right? And therefore, he used to say, which had entered the Bill of Rights. It is also called the Rights of Man, also called the Bill of Rights. Right exactly on your screen. I think you can zoom it, then only you can able to see. Because of your small mobile screen, you have to zoom it. Let's see what I already put here. Thomas Paine's Right of Man. Here is something information or something more important about this treatise. Let's see. It was published in 2 parts. This important treatise, Rights of Man, is published in 2 parts in March 1791 and February 1792. Means we have 2 parts of this treatise, okay? And the most important, this treatise is closely associated with French Revolution. Now some students, especially the student who belongs to science faculty, they thought, are we really learn English language or political science? But you know what? As I already told you, there is a close correlation in between the history and literature, in between the philosophy and literature, in between the geography and literature. Without the common or basic understanding of world history, Indian history, world geography, you cannot exactly get the ideas from the literature, right? So try to understand the concepts, how it intermingling with each other, right? So yes, this treatise, some people called it book, it published in exactly two parts, in 1791 and 1792. And especially it includes 31 articles, okay? This treatise include 31 articles. Poses that popular political revolution is permissible when a government does not safeguard the natural rights of the people. You know what? It is all about that. All articles are about one type of revolution. Against what? Against the present political scenario. Because of getting or because of gaining their basic natural rights. You know what is the meaning of rights? Don't think it is just right, R-I-G-S-T, or sometimes W-R-I-T. It is not about that. Rights. It is all about your rights. This world is closely related to the Constitution, Samvidhan, right? We have, as a human being or as a citizen of a particular country, we have some rights. And as for the sake of that right, with some rights, we have some duties also. We cannot say we are just demanding the rights. What about your duties? You have to perform your duties, then only you can able to get your rights. Okay, so it is all about the people from that continent, especially French. They are really eager to get their basic rights, their natural rights. Using these points as a base, it depends on, or it depends on French Revolution. You know what? These 2-3 events from the world history is so much important. For example, the French Revolution is important, which took place in 18th century. American Revolution, that is also important, right? It took place in 1725 and 80 in between. Then we have this French Revolution, which took place in I think 1789. Then we have East India Company in India, the freedom movement, the long freedom movement. We have the history of that freedom movement. You should be aware with these small things, because you know what, completing a particular course, that is BA, BSc, whatever, is not all about getting the marks. Marks is not everything. We cannot say it is nothing, but it is not everything, right? So at least you have to get the basic ideas from the world history, from the world literature, or from the Indian continent, or especially Indian philosophy, right? Then one word used here, that America's overthrow of British monarchical hold. What is called monarchy? We have different types of what we call methods of ruling. We have democracy in India, by the people, for the people, of the people. That is called democracy, right? Most of the political science student knows the different types of definition of democracy. लोकांनी, लोकांचे, लोकांसाठी चालवलेले राज्य म्हणजे लोकशाही, बरोबर? That's the definition. But what about monarchy? What about different types of ruling methods? Monarchy means, a monarchy is a form of government. It is one type of form of government, right? In which a person or a monarch, okay, a person or a monarch is a head of state. Means all the power of the government is from, or is working from, or it implement from a particular person, and that person called monarch. In Marathi, exactly word is there, Rajeshahi. Rajeshahi. We don't have that monarchy, right? I think in today's word, England is the best example of this monarchy. They have, till today, they have the tradition, or they have the history, or they have the legacy of king and queens. And therefore, till today in England, we have the Queen of Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. Prime Minister is there, Prime Minister is there, that is another thing. But the ultimate, what we call the ultimate orders is working from the side of monarch, that particular person, and that is called monarchy. And this French Revolution is all against the monarchy. People wants their rights. They wants to what we call live their particular, or they want to live their specific life in a different way, not under that particular person called monarch, right? And here on the screen, I put some information. Actually, that is not the part of your essay, but still, I think as a student of graduation, at least you should know this information only. Why? Because it is dealing with your constitution, my constitution, the Constitution of India, right? Can you tell me anyone how many people were there when they try to form our constitution? One thing, it is clear that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, they are the what we call architect of our constitution. Obviously, yes, they are the architect of our constitution. But what exactly the number? How many people are there in that committee of forming the Constitution of India? Because it is the history from last 70 to 80 years. 308 people are there, particular members are there, and these 308 members uh, create or made our constitution. Then again, important thing is there, how many parts and how many schedules are there in Indian constitution? Can anyone tell me how many parts and how many schedules are there? Most of the student thought, we listen this word first time, how can I tell how many parts and how many schedules? Schedules means what? In Marathi, parishishta, parishishta, right? Supplementary in another word, parishishta. You know what? As a student of graduation, you should know this information. Without this common information or without this common knowledge, how can you get or how can you complete your graduation, your post graduation, right? Because this constitution, or this is the only constitution which provides you your human rights. It is for your side, right? Always, because of this constitution you can travel anywhere in the country. You have the speech, freedom of speech, because of this constitution. So at least you should know the thorough information about the constitution, right? Okay, without wasting time, uh, I would like to tell 25 parts are there, right? Exactly. I think in chat box, Abhishek is correct. 25 parts are there, right? And yes, 12 schedules are there, right? So 25 parts and 12 schedules. Don't forget these things, okay? It is really important. Don't forget. And from that 25 parts, the third part is most important. Third part among that 25 parts. Why the third part is important? Because it consists or it includes your and mine fundamental rights. That is the most important thing. Till today, we are always ready to hesitate, or we are always ready to fight with any government about what? About our fundamental rights. Anyone or any Indian citizen, though it is rich or poor, though it belongs to any caste, creed, religion, or anything, as he is the student or as he is the citizen of India, he have or he get some fundamental rights. So in the third part and article 12 to 35, remember these things, okay? Article 12 to 35, as I already told you, it is not the part of this essay, but how should we uh, forget to suggest such things, right? Article 12 to 35, it consists in third part, and we have originally, okay, originally we have 7 fundamental rights. You know what? Originally we have 7 fundamental rights. Then, but today we have only 6. From last decade, or I think before 2000, we erase one fundamental right, and that is the right of property. Okay, that right belongs to property, so we erase that fundamental rights. So remaining 6 fundamental rights are important. Among them, the first one is right to equality. Equality means what? Equality means in Marathi, samanta, samata, what we call, right? We always, you should know, French Revolution gives us these words: equality, fraternity, right? This is the gift of French Revolution to all the world, right? Then the second one is right to freedom. Means in our country, every individual citizen have freedom of speech, freedom to travel anywhere in the country. We don't or we doesn't need of visa or passport to traveling in our country. Forget about nowadays, we need that passes, e-passes, but because of this situation, but in generally, okay. The third one is right against the exploitation. Exploitation means what? Agony. Exploitation. Exploitation means shoshan, right? Right against exploitation. We have right to raise our voice against the exploitation. Then we have a right of freedom of religion. Any individual person can accept any religion in our country, right? So that is called the freedom of religion. Then we have cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational rights. This is so important, right? Because as a student, you should aware with these things that educational right means what? I think in RTI, right to education, that is the act in 2004. And according to that act, every child from 6 to 14-year age, they should get free and compulsory education. That is that exactly act, and it including this educational rights, right? We have right of education. No one can deny, or no one can create hurdles in our education, right? Then the last one is a right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. Some constitutional remedies are there, and it is the right of constitutional remedies. So it is the general information which I think you should know, and therefore I put here. Okay, so turn to next line. They also knew the content of human rights as enshrined in the manifesto of the French Revolution in 1792. Enshrined means what? ENSHRINED. Enshrined means to preserve. Okay, to preserve, to take care in one way. Human rights as enshrined in the manifesto of French Revolution. You know what? There is a manifesto of French Revolution, and that is the most important event in the history, the manifesto of French Revolution. And these things, this struggle for human rights should be included in the manifesto of French Revolution, basically in 1792. That is how the framers of the Constitution of Free India. Now this word is important. Now this is about India. The framers of the Constitution of India. Framers means, as I already told you, that 308 members, that is called framers. Okay, the framers of Constitution of India, Free India, we are able to put fundamental human rights in the first part, this important document. And because of that, because of the importance of this fundamental rights, our framers also, or our members included fundamental rights in the first first parts in the Constitution, right? So that is that type of importance of these fundamental rights. The Constitution drafted in English language was rendered into the languages of the states. And you know what? Our constitution, when it creates or when it framed, it drafted in English language was rendered. Rendered means what? RENDE. Rendered means what? Offering. Rendered means offered into the language of the states. Means though the constitution is in was in English, but it translated in every individual language from belong to every state. Marathi, Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada. It translated in every language and then rendered to the particular states. And for the first time, our various languages became the vehicle, we can say, various languages became vehicles of modern political concepts and practices of civil and criminal law. And that is the first time, according to Mulk Raj Anand, the translation of Constitution of India in a regional languages. That is the first time when our regional languages became the vehicle. Vehicle, you can easily get the meaning. Our regional languages become the vehicle, vahak, what we call vehicle of such type of criminal or such type of civil and criminal laws, right? So that's the most important thing according to Mulk Raj Anand. Let's start with another paragraph. Aware of the difficulties in transmitting the new knowledge of science and technology, medicine and law, which was in English, German and French, our enlightened leadership adopted in 3-language formula. You know what? From the last lecture, the focus should be on knowledge, right? And the knowledge from which side? Exactly from science and technology, medicine, law, these types of fields or these types of courses till today it available in or their syllabus available in English only. You know what? When someone is doing law, the course for being an advocate, law, right? The syllabus should be in English. What about MBBS? The syllabus should be in English because this type of knowledge, original source of that knowledge, it is in English. Therefore, we cannot, we can translate it, but till today we learn it from the same language. Okay, and actually we are awareing with the difficulties, but till we are ready to accept it with their difficulties in the same language, which was in English, German and French. Means in these 3 fields, most of the knowledge included in 3 fields or 3 languages, English, German and French. And this is the most important 3 languages in the world anyway. Our enlightened leadership adopted the 3-language formula. I think in the last lecture we discussed what is that 3-language formula. First, your mother tongue, second, the national language, and third, obviously, English. They were also anxious to maintain the unity of the country in view of formation of states on the basis of different languages. And when we accept that 3-language formula, we have so many questions arised from the various states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, because they simply love their own languages, Tamil, Malayalam, right? Because of that situation, they are not able to accept Hindi as a language, speaking language, right? Anxious means carefully or taking care, right? And you know what? There are so many committees which established in India. For example, that Mudliar Ayog in 1953, Kothari Ayog in 1964, National Education Policy 1986, and in the last month or in the last week, we have another national policy after 34 years, right? I think there is only 1 minute remaining for recording, for the sake of recording. So maybe it is disconnected. Okay, let's see what will happen. We should continue. The mother tongue was to be used for village.